Decapitator is kind of like a mixed variety bag. When you go to Walmart and you don't want only one flavor of chips, sometimes you get the variety pack because it's got the Doritos, it's got the Cheetos, it's got everything inside of it that you want, different flavors. And that's the thing about Decapitator. It's kind of like an all-in-one saturation plugin, which is really dope. So we have different modes: A, E, N, T, and P. So let's go over these modes. So the very first mode is the A mode, which is modeling after the Aphex 351. So this is a really dope preamp that was used back in the days when they were running on a tape. So it's the tape preamp. You're not getting the actual tape part, but you're just getting the preamp of it. So it's very legendary. A guy like Jimi Hendrix engineer, back in the day, he used to use this tape machine, and we also know the plugin as Kramer tape. Okay, so this is a really dope situation where this is like a tube driven preamp, and it also helps with giving a little bit of better imaging to the 808, to the bass, but also smoothing out that booty even more. So it's not just the fact that we're EQing, but we're also getting the smoothness through the saturation. The next part on the Decapitator, I believe, is E, right? Which is modeling the EMI console. So this is a console that came from back in the days with Beatles and Abbey Roads in England, okay? So this console is also modeled in the Waves NLS bus, so another dope plugin as well that is related, that is a cousin to the Decapitator plugin. So it's modeling a channel on the the console, the E on Decapitator. And this is, I believe this is like a solid state type of situation where the very first consoles are two, but then slowly over time, like the TG stuff was using solid state components, so it had a different sound, a little bit more edgier, a gritty sound, not a smooth top end, but a little bit more of a crunchy French fries, fried chicken type of top end, right? So it's very dope. It's kind of actually giving a brightness type of situation. The next emulation inside of Decapitator is going to be the Neve 1057. The Neve 1057 is actually pretty interesting because it's different. It's different from the Neve 1073. It has different transistors inside of it, and the transistors in the Neve is what gives it that fuzz. Once you start to push a Neve really hard, you start to hear this like fuzz, this kind of air or sparkle. These are using germanium transistors, so this is a dope ass Neve. I haven't seen too many plugins of a Neve 1057, but the Decapitator gives you that sound. And then the next thing that we have right here is going to be the Culture Vulture, which is the models T and P inside of the Decapitator plugin. So this is a tube saturator. Back in the days, people used to be laughing. They used to be like, man, why you using that Culture Vulture on your mix? Why you trying to get more saturation? It's because it was analog. Back in the days when they had that analog workflow, them boys was not worried about no little saturation because they had it. They had it in the microphone, the tube microphones they was using, like the U47, the 67, a Sony C800, all that tube saturation. They was already getting that saturation through the signal chain, through the preamp, through the compressor that they was hitting, then through the tape and through the console and back out. So them boys back in the day, they was not worried about saturation at all. But now we got what we got with the digital day. Now people be like, man, why does a song feel lifeless? Like, why does it feel like it don't have that same body and that same weight that them throwback songs that we was bumping to back in the day was having? And it was because of saturation. So that's why a plugin like this is very important. It has two types of tubes, the triode tubes and the pento tubes. So as you can see right here, you see like there's a T on it. There's a T right here, and then there's the P. So triode tubes usually give smoothness. They give warmth. You feel me? They give a lot of that body. I remember it as, are you even trying to get fat? Because they fatten up a signal. Then you have the P mode on the Decapitator, right? The P mode is a pento tube, which has a little bit of aggression. It's called odd order harmonics. Odd pent up anger is how I remember it. So that comes back to this plugin. I'm using the A, which is the Ampex 2 preamp, and I'm pushing the drive, and I'm doing it on parallel to give some more body. So this is a strategy that I like to do with drums, where a lot of the times I'm not doing boosting EQ on my mixes in general. I'm using saturation, I'm using character, I'm using analog modeled plugins as an additive EQ. I don't like to use actual EQ to boost.